So welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. Today we have our Week 7 Championship score predictions, and coming up this weekend we have some very intriguing games to go ahead and predict. So I'm interested to see what you guys are saying about this one. As always, all this weekend's fixtures will be listed in the description down below, so you guys can easily go ahead and make your score predictions. And then if you do get any of them correct, your comment may be included into the next video. And if you do go on to enjoy the video, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, please do subscribe for some regular Championship content. When I'm recording this video, we are really close now to 15,000 subscribers, so if we could hit that today, that would be absolutely awesome. And just before we do get into any of my predictions for this weekend, guys, I will include your guys' comments on screen now, so if any of you guys did successfully manage to get any of your midweek score predictions correct, then I will include your comment on screen now. And fair play to everyone who did get one right. It was a pretty topsy-turvy one in terms of some of the results in midweek. You know, we spoke about quite a few of them in my previous video, so make sure you go check that out if you've not already seen it. But on Wednesday night, we also had some decent games going on in the Championship, so make sure to leave a comment in the comments down below as to what you made of your team's performance in midweek. But enough of that, guys, let's go ahead and hop in to my score predictions for this weekend. So starting out with tonight's game going on between Wigan Athletic and Bristol City, I feel like this game has the potential to be a really good end-to-end sort of battle, really. Wigan, of course, coming off the back of their victory in midweek against Hull City, beating them by 2-1. If you look at Wigan's form at the moment, it tends to be a little bit up and down. They seem to win one, lose one, win one, lose one. So if we're going off that trend, you know, Bristol City, that should fill them with confidence. Bristol City, obviously, in midweek did lose by 4-2 away at West Brom. That scoreline possibly a little bit harsh on Bristol City, considering how good they look going forward at times. In that game, they crafted out 24 opportunities. So going into this one, I feel like there will be quite a heavy attacking presence on this one. Both sides have showed so far this season that they are capable of scoring, and both have got some brilliant options going forward. And it's quite a tough one to call, but I feel like the high energy that both these two sides like to play with will lead this to being quite a high scoring game. But I don't see there being an awful lot in this one, to be completely honest, and I'm just going to back Bristol City for a 2-1 away victory. Before that defeat in midweek, they were on a fantastic run of form, and they'll be looking to recapture that form as soon as possible. So I'll go with 2-1 City. FIFA's going to say 2-1 Wigan. Then into Saturday's games, we got Aston Villa going up against Sheffield Wednesday. Aston Villa getting back to winning ways in midweek with a 2-0 home victory over Rotherham United. Before that, a lot of Villa's performances so far this season have been, you know, quite mediocre. They've got some brilliant individual talent in there, but so far Steve Bruce hasn't really been able to get the cohesion with this team to be playing them in one philosophy going forward. You know, it seems to be a lot of individuals out there, but Villa getting back to winning ways, you know, they'll be hoping to bring that into this game. Going up against Sheffield Wednesday, who they lost in midweek to Nottingham Forest. Quite a disappointing performance from them. The last two games they've lost and drawn. However, before that, they were on a very good run of form in the Championship, winning their 3 previous games before that. So once again, two teams who like to score goals going forward. Both sides who at the back, I think, do have a couple of cracks in there to go ahead and exploit. But with Villa, something that really intrigues me for them this season is Tammy Abraham and Jonathan Kodjia. They linked up for a goal on Tuesday night, and if they continue to do that throughout the season, they will be a lethal partnership this season. So for a prediction, I'm going to back Villa for a 2-1 home victory. Once again, don't see a lot being in that game. FIFA's going to say it'll be 1-0 Villa. Then we see Derby County going up against Brentford. Brentford at the moment, one of the most informed teams in the Championship, currently sat third. In midweek, they did draw 1-1 with Ipswich, but once again, their main man Neil Maupay on the score sheet, and what a phenomenal player he has been for them so far this season. He has been absolutely frightening, so clinical inside the box, and he just works with how Brentford like to play. Going up against this Derby side, who their last 2 results haven't really gone for them. They lost against Rotherham, and then they drew 0-0 with Blackburn Rovers. Somehow, they didn't manage to break the deadlock in that one. They had an absolute catalogue of chances in that game, but just nothing was falling for them inside the box. So they'll be hoping to get over that frustration. I do see quite a few goals being scored in this one. Brentford being one of the highest scoring teams in the Championship so far, already going ahead and scoring 15 goals. A lot of them to be attributed to Neil Maupay. But for this game, I'm going to fancy it to finish as a 2-2 draw. I think after Derby's frustrations against Blackburn, they'll be a lot more top heavy in this one, and some of the goals will start to go in. But with Brentford being a good side, it's not going to be easy for them. So I'll say 2-2. FIFA's going to go with a 2-0 Brentford away win. Then into our next game, we see Ipswich going up against Bolton Wanderers. Ipswich still chasing their first win of the season, and in my opinion, this is their best chance to go ahead and claim that, really. With Bolton at this point in time not being in the best run of form, they've not gone ahead and won the game in their last 4 games in the Championship. Now, obviously, they had that absolutely electric start to the season, but since then, they've slowly started to fizzle out a little bit. Some defensive mistakes coming into their game. We saw that in midweek against Middlesbrough, and this is a really good chance for Ipswich in my opinion. In the second half of their game against Brentford, I thought they showed a massive improvement, and to pick up a 1-1 draw in that game I thought was a very good result for them. And there is a part of me that doesn't want Ipswich to win this game because they're the only team below Preston at the moment. And if Ipswich do win this game, Preston are probably going to be bottom of the table come the end of this week, which will be a bit sad. But in all honesty, I have to be fair, and I do see Ipswich winning this one. So I'll back them for a 2-1 home victory. And Thief's going to say it'll be 2-0 Ipswich. Then we see Leeds United going up against Birmingham. Leeds at this point obviously still in a fantastic run of form. Despite the players they've currently got out injured, you know, that didn't look the case in midweek against my team Preston. Then some of the players who are coming into that squad, Roberts looked absolutely fantastic, scoring 2 goals against us, and the whole fluid build-up play throughout the midfield, we just couldn't live with it for that whole 90 minutes. So going up against this Birmingham side though, I do think that Birmingham so far have been quite resilient defensively. They've gone ahead and drawn their last 4 games in the Championship, and with Birmingham, every game so far this season has pretty much been the same. They've been really unlucky not to score. They've created a whole bunch of chances, but nothing was falling for them. And so for this game against Leeds, you know, Leeds defensively so far have been pretty sound, but I think they may cause them a couple of problems before breaking them down if they do play as well as they have done in their previous few games. You know, the game against Sheffield United in midweek, they were very unlucky once again not to go ahead and win that game. But with some of the flair that Leeds have going forward, it takes real concentration to be off the ball for as long as you are when you are playing Leeds and then be able to hit them on the counter-attack. And that's something that not a lot of sides have been able to do very successfully so far this season. And with Leeds, the way they're playing at the moment, I do think their quality will show through in this game in the end. And I will back them for a 2-0 home victory. With FIFA saying it'll be 2-1 Leeds. Next up we then got Middlesbrough going up against Swansea City. Middlesbrough of course claiming a victory, a pretty convincing one in midweek, 2-0 at home over Bolton Wanderers. It was nice to see Jordan Hugill getting a start in that game. I've heard some pretty positive reviews as to what the Borough fans thought of Hugill in that game. He seemed to work tirelessly going forward, and going forward this season in general I think he'll be a good option for them in the long run. Going up against the Swansea side who their form at the moment has been a little bit sporadic. You know, their last 3 games has been a win, draw and a loss, which sort of sums up Swansea so far this season really. Going up against this Middlesbrough side, not going to be easy. Swansea in midweek were very unlucky though. You know, that goal they conceded against Joe Allen, which was clearly offside, they got unlucky not to claim a point from that one in the end. But when they are in the right mindset going forward, Swansea definitely have some game changers in there. I don't see a lot of goals being scored in this game really. Obviously both sides so far this season defensively have been pretty tight for the whole of it, and so I've got a feeling it'll be a 1-0 going either way, and I will just back Middlesbrough for a slim 1-0 home victory in this game, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be 2-0 Swansea. Next up we got Nottingham Forest going up against Rotherham. Forest getting back to winning ways in midweek with a 2-1 home victory over Sheffield Wednesday. João Carvalho getting his first goal for the club, and Lewis Grabban as well. The Carvalho goal was a very tidy finish indeed, and I think everyone in the Championship sort of knew that when this Forest side really does get going, there's definite potential in that squad, and so if they can carry on that momentum going forward this season, we really could start to see the wheels turning for Nottingham Forest, and we could see them pushing up the league now. Going up against this Rotherham side who, away from home so far, haven't been the best in terms of claiming points, with their wins so far this season all being in home matches, but they have made themselves a tough opposition to go up against. You know, they'll make themselves hard to break down this one. They'll look to frustrate Nottingham Forest for large periods of the game, and they can score goals, this Rotherham side, you know, either going forward on the counter-attack or from set pieces. It's a decent little proposition. They've got a very good team dynamic in there, but with how Forest played in midweek, and if they carry on that momentum into this game, they've got some players playing with confidence now, especially with Lewis Grabban. I think scoring a goal in midweek will do him the world of good going forward. So for a prediction for this one, I'm going to back Forest for another 2-1 home victory, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be 2-0 Forest. Next up we then see Reading going up against Hull City, and with both sides losing in midweek, this is a good opportunity now for one of these sides to go ahead and bounce back this weekend. With neither of them really setting the Championship alight so far, they've both made fairly poor starts this season. It's a good chance to really build up some momentum now. But for this game, I see some similarities between these two sides really. Scoring goals doesn't seem to be a massive problem for either of them. They've both scored 9 goals in the 8 games they played in this Championship season so far, but defensively and making basic errors has been a fundamental problem for both sides so far this season. So we could see quite an open game in this one. With Reading beating my team Preston, but they carry a lot of that momentum into the game they had against Norwich, but that wasn't really on show. It was quite a poor performance from them actually. I think the Reading players will be feeling, you know, quite a bit of pressure to go ahead and put on a performance for this one, which could play into Hull's hands for this game. But realistically, I see this one having a 1-1 draw written all over it really, so that'll be my prediction for this game, and FIFA's going to say it'll be 2-0 Hull. Next up we then got Sheffield United going up against my team Preston. Preston currently sat 23rd in the Championship. It has been an absolute disaster of a start for a season for us so far, and we are still yet to score a goal away from home. You know, never mind picking up any points, we've not even scored away so far. So going into this game against Sheffield United, I'm not confident at all really. In fairness, Sheffield United, their last 2 results haven't really gone for them. They lost against against Bristol City, and they got a 0-0 draw in midweek against Birmingham, where potentially they got a little bit fortunate for that one. I thought Birmingham over the 90 minutes were probably the better side, but previously to that, they won 4 games on the bounce in the Championship and showed some fantastic form going forward in those games. You know, the 4-1 home victory against Aston Villa as one of them. You know, they're absolutely terrific in that game, and if they show any of that form against us, we will absolutely crumble. Defensively at this point, we've got the worst record in the Championship, already going ahead and conceding 15 goals. I think the most worrying thing about Preston at the moment is the other day that Alex Neil actually admitted to not knowing what his best starting 11 was, so that doesn't really fill me with a lot of confidence going into this game. But one added bonus I suppose for Preston will be that we will have Ryan Ledson coming back into the team for this one, so at least we will have a defensive midfielder to play. You know, that was quite evident against Leeds United that we didn't have anyone to cover in that position, but even so, I still feel like he'll tinker around with the team quite a lot. We still don't know what our best 11 is. I would like to see Chris Maxwell coming into the starting 11. At the moment, with the amount of goals that we're shipping defensively, I think a changing goalkeeper may be necessary at this point, but even so, I'm going to back Sheffield United for a 2-0 home victory. I'm not confident for this one. Whereas FIFA's saying it'll be 2-1 Preston. Next up, we then got Stoke going up against Blackburn Rovers. Quite intriguing in this one. Could easily go both ways. You know, Blackburn so far have made the better start to the season, and with Stoke at the moment, you know, going forward, I feel like a lot of their players are in form. You know, Benicophobe grabbing 2 goals at the weekend looked fantastic. Tom Ince looked very good in that game as well, and with them pick up a win in midweek against Swansea. But defensively, if Blackburn do put that team under pressure, I feel like some cracks will appear. I feel like when you are going up against this Stoke City side, it's the sort of team where you want to just go ahead and attack them. If you sit off this Stoke squad, they will probably pick you apart. They've got some very talented players going forward, but defensively, like I said, there are weaknesses that you could exploit. But for this game, I do fancy Stoke for a 2-1 home victory. Not going to be an easy game. I don't feel like there'll be all too much in it. Blackburn could easily get something from it, but I am going to back Stoke for a 2-1 home victory, and FIFA's going to say it'll be 2-0 Stoke. Next up, we then see West Brom going up against Millwall, and with West Brom already scoring 20 goals so far this season, they are the highest scorers in the Championship. They've got to be fancying their chances against this Millwall side, who on the whole have made a pretty poor start to the season. They've only picked up 6 points so far, only getting 1 win, and they are lingering in and around the bottom of the Championship. I just feel as if Millwall have maybe lost a bit of their edge from last season, really. They've still got a very good team dynamic in there, but going forward at times, making some sloppy defensive mistakes has cost you, and this West Brom side is a team which will punish you defensively. And so for this game, I'm going to back West Brom for a 3-1 home victory. I feel like they'll score quite a few goals in this one once again, and FIFA's going to say it'll be 3-0 West Brom. Then for our last game, we got the evening game on Saturday between QPR and Norwich City, and QPR recently have really gone ahead and turned around their season. They've won 3 of their last 4 games in the Championship, and now are only 3 points off the playoffs. So after the absolute disaster of a start to the season that they had, it just shows that you can really turn your form around with 3 or 4 games in the Championship. And so QPR lately have been looking very good, obviously picking up a 2-0 home victory against Millwall in midweek. Eze once again picking up another goal, and he has looked absolutely fantastic for QPR so far. Really has been instrumental in them changing around their form so far this season. But going up against Norwich, who similarly to QPR are on a very good run of form at the moment. They themselves went ahead and won in midweek. Timu Pukki with a fantastic finish in that game. So far this season, he's been one of their signings which has really gone to impress me. I think this game has the potential to be a really entertaining one to watch. So for prediction for this one, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I see quite a few goals being scored in this one. Either side can easily walk away with a victory from this one. Both sides playing some very nice football at the moment, but I'll say 2-2, and FIFA's going to say it'll be 3-0 Norwich. But guys, there you have it. There are my Championship score predictions for what I think is going to happen this weekend in the Championship. Do you guys agree with them? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, make sure you guys do go ahead and get your predictions in. I'm interested to see what you guys are saying for this weekend. But that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you did go in to enjoy, make sure you leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you do subscribe for some regular Championship content as well. Like I said, when I'm recording this video, we are so close to 15,000 subscribers, so it really would mean a lot to me. But apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.